A 17-month-old child bites a deadly snake. Human blood mysteriously in a playground house. The dead come back to life. A man with two faces. These are terrifying and mysterious true stories. After reading them, you'll surely believe that real life is scarier than any movie. 1 17-month-old toddler bites venomous snake to death in November 2015, while checking on her 17-month-old son, Lorenzo. In the backyard, Jane Ferreira found the toddler covered in blood, with a snake attempting to escape from his mouth. Horrified, Jane immediately rushed Lorenzo to the hospital. Upon examination, doctors found no signs of injury or venom on the toddler. Clearly, Lorenzo had discovered the snake and fatally bitten it before it could harm him. Alarmingly, the snake was identified as a venomous green pit viper found in the Americas. 2. Mysterious human blood in playground house. In a peaceful suburban elementary school in Sydney, there was a playground house situated in a corner of the schoolyard, known as Riverwood Playground House. By day, it was a place of children's joy and happiness, but by night, it turned into a realm of enigma and mystery. One day, a group of close friends from the school decided to organize a special evening in the playground house. They planned an extensive itinerary of fun activities, from counting games to traditional folk games. However, as night fell and the lights dimmed, the group began to feel an eerie presence in the playground house. Strange noises and mysterious whispers began to send shivers down their spines. Lights suddenly went out, enveloping the house in darkness, with only the dim glow of moonlight shining through the windows. Amidst the confusion, some of them noticed fresh red bloodstains appearing on the floor, but no one knew where they came from. As the group began to investigate the cause of the mysterious events, they discovered a secret passage leading beneath the playground house. Following the trail of blood, they ventured down this narrow and dark path, unaware of what they would uncover. Eventually, they reached the end of the passage and discovered a hidden chamber containing horrifying secrets from the school's past. In shock and fear, they realized that the playground house was not only a place of children's play but also harbored unresolved dark mysteries. Riverwood Playground House had been the site of a gruesome crime in the past, yet the secrets surrounding this incident were never unraveled. It might have involved a child or an adult who went missing or was mysteriously killed, and their death remained a major enigma. 3. The phone number of death. Mobitel, a telecommunications company in Bulgaria, ceased issuing the phone number 0888-888-888 after 3 users of the number died within 10 years. The first was Vladimir Grashnov, the former CEO of the company. Subsequently, the number belonged to Konstantin Dimitrov, a drug lord. The third user of the number, 0888-888-888, was also a drug trafficker and real estate manager, Konstantin Dishlev. Initially considered lucky, the number became coveted by many. However, rumors began to spread about a curse associated with the phone number, turning it into the phone number of death. Allegedly, those who possessed this number experienced a series of peculiar and unfortunate events. They often received calls from unknown individuals, and shortly after, horrific accidents or mysterious deaths occurred to them or their loved ones. Some believe the number was haunted and automatically dialed those who owned it, casting an unavoidable curse. Some recounted hearing chilling whispers from the phone at night, just before unfortunate events struck. Stories about the phone number of death became widespread, causing anxiety and fear within the community. Although Mobitel ceased its use and reclaimed the number, many still believe in its lingering malevolent power, continuing to threaten those associated with it. 4. Dream turned reality. When George Boyer was still a boy, he didn't harbor the typical dreams like other children. Instead, he nurtured a unique dream to become a one-legged survivor. This might sound peculiar and hard to grasp, but for George, it was the sole thing he longed for. As time passed, George grew into a mature man. However, his passion for the idea of becoming one-legged never waned. He didn't dream of becoming a famous athlete or a flashy rock singer. Instead, he sought ways to realize his unparalleled dream. On a fateful day, when George had crossed the age of 68, he decided to fulfill his dream himself. He took a gun and shot his own leg. His resoluteness and courage astonished everyone. It was a controversial and risky decision, but George had no regrets about it. Immediately after the incident, George was rushed to the hospital. Doctors quickly realized that his leg could still be saved. They proposed treatments and surgeries to reconstruct and restore his leg. However, George declined all those proposals. He pleaded with the doctors to amputate his leg to become a one-legged person for the rest of his life. For George, nothing was more important than realizing his dream, even if it meant sacrificing a part of his body. He didn't want to live in regret and didn't want to look back on his life with remorse. 5. The Dead Reborn. In 1885, on a bustling morning, a man received a strange letter from his brother whom he believed had died 13 years ago. The letter arrived in his home mailbox, carrying shaky words written in faded ink, describing his brother's mental illness and the intention to visit the man soon. Surprised and worried, the man decided to investigate what had truly happened to his brother. After a perilous and tense journey, the man finally reached his brother's grave. With trembling and apprehension, he began to carefully unearth the coffin. As the final coffin lid was lifted, sunlight streamed in, and the pieces of the story began to unfold. The man's heart pounded in chaos as the coffin opened, but what awaited inside surprised him. The coffin was completely empty. The man pondered and fretted, wondering if he had made a mistake. Was the letter a prank or a clue to a deep-seated mystery from his brother's past? 6. Bizarre coincidence. In 1838, Edgar Allan Poe released the novels The Narrative of Arthur Gordon Pym of Nantucket. The story recounts 3 sailors resorting to cannibalism to survive after their ship sinks. The story turned into reality in 1884, and the unfortunate sailor was named Richard Parker, coincidentally matching the character's name in Edgar Allan Poe's novel. 7. The Man with Two Faces. Edward Moore Drake was truly one of the most peculiar and extraordinary cases in medical history. Born with a second face at the back of his head, he had to live with the pain and peculiarity of its unwanted presence. The second face was not just a physical anomaly for him, it was also a deeply haunting presence. Edward Moore Drake's second face was not able to speak but seemed to express emotions unrelated to Edward himself. Its gestures and expressions created a sense of horror and obsession for him, pushing him into a state of extreme mental tension and anxiety. In an era where medicine hadn't advanced enough to deal with such peculiar cases, Edward Moore Drake faced rejection from doctors who dared not intervene in his bizarre condition. His loneliness and unbearable pain eventually pushed him to the brink, as he decided to end his life at the age of 23. The story of Edward Moore Drake is a haunting tragedy, a testament to the mystery and strangeness of human beings and the complexity of human nature. 8. The War Skull Box. Local residents had warned Soviet archaeologists not to take the skull box of Timur, one of the great Mongol conquerors, as it would lead to war. However, the archaeologists still obtained it by any means necessary. The day after was June 22, 1941, when Nazi Germany officially launched Operation Barbarossa, attacking Russia. Hundreds of thousands of Russians died in just a few short weeks. The story of Timur's skull box is a clear example of superstition and belief in history, as well as the unforeseen consequences of not respecting the culture and beliefs of a nation. Timur, also known as Tamerlane, was one of the great military leaders of the Mongols, who ruled large parts of Central Asia and the Middle East in the 14th century. His skull box was seen as a symbol of power and dread, believed to bring misfortune and disaster to anyone who dared to disturb it. Despite warnings from local residents about the potential consequences of taking this skull box, archaeologists still decided to study and take Timur's skull box. This could be seen as a violation of ethical and cultural respect, and as a result, it led to a series of unfortunate events. On June 22, 1941, Nazi Germany officially launched its attack on the Soviet Union, marking the beginning of Operation Barbarossa. The combination of opening Timur's skull box and the misfortune of war created a strange and terrifying sense, as hundreds of thousands of Russians died in the first few weeks of this attack. This story serves as a reminder of the importance of respecting and understanding each other's cultures and beliefs, and of the unforeseen consequences of violating these values. 9. The Ghost Ship. The story of the SS Aurang and the mysterious events that occurred on it in 1948 is one of the greatest mysteries in naval history. From strange signals to the mysterious deaths of everyone on board, everything seemed like a plot in a horror story. On that day, when receiving strange signals from the SS Aurang, anxiety and surprise swept across the sea. A strange voice announced that all crew members on the ship had died, and they were lying inside the chart room. But even more bizarrely, a nearby ship received a short and horrifying Morse message, "I die." As the investigating ship approached, they discovered an unimaginable scene. Everyone on board was dead, their eyes wide open and facing upwards. The eerie and gloomy scene not only shocked but also raised a series of questions about the cause of this mysterious death. Despite numerous theories and explanations about what happened on the SS Aurang, this story remains one of the darkest and most chilling mysteries in the world of the Navy. 10. The mysterious film role. Rita Swift never imagined that her small adventure would lead to such a mysterious and intriguing discovery. In 1997, when she washed an old film roll she found on the ground, she had no idea it would be an opportunity to explore a part of the past that no one could have imagined. In the film roll were a total of 60 photos, but what surprised Rita the most was that 3 of them were not only vintage, but also originated from a much earlier period than 1969, the remaining time of the film roll. These photos were taken using the most classic method, pinhole photography, a method rarely used in the age of advanced technology. The people in the photos wore Native American attire from the 1800s, prompting everyone to question the origins and stories behind these photos. Perhaps this is part of an unexpected historical mystery, a relic film roll carrying memories and stories from a bygone era. Whether this story will ultimately be resolved or not, Rita Swift's adventure has raised stimulating questions and hypotheses, highlighting the mystery and allure of the past that we can explore through photography. 11. The woman emerged from the cupboard. This story is truly bizarre and full of surprises. A Japanese man, upon discovering food mysteriously missing from his home, decided to install surveillance cameras to get to the bottom of the matter. Initially, he suspected that some strange animals or creatures were stealing food from his house. However, the truth turned out to be even more surprising when he turned on the camera and discovered a woman emerging from the cupboard every night. What's even stranger is that this woman wasn't just coming to eat from the kitchen, but was also using the bathroom and staying overnight in the house. Upon being discovered, the woman revealed that she had been living in the house for a year without ever being detected. Her reason was that she felt lonely and had nowhere else to go. This revelation caused astonishment and bewilderment not only for the homeowner, but also for the surrounding community. This story truly exemplifies the strangeness and unpredictability of everyday life. 12. The mysterious man. The case of the mysterious man imprisoned in 1669 without trial, forced to wear an iron mask for life, has become one of the most famous mysteries in French history. The iron mask was believed to have been placed on the man's face to conceal his identity and prevent him from communicating with others, shrouding the mystery surrounding him. Numerous theories have been proposed about the identity of this man, ranging from him being a nobleman who committed a crime to being involved in political conspiracies. One of the most popular theories is that he might have been the twin brother of King Louis XIV. In reality, the unidentified nature of this man forced to wear an iron mask created a fertile ground for exaggeration and creativity. To this day, the story of the man with the iron mask remains one of the greatest mysteries of French history, continuing to inspire literature, film, and art. 13. Dreaming of one's own death. Abraham Lincoln, the 16th President of the United States, is famous for the eerie dreams and premonitions he experienced throughout his life. In one of his most terrifying dreams, Lincoln found himself standing before a funeral monument and hearing loud cries. He realized that he was standing before his own tombstone and people were gathered to witness his funeral. Every time Lincoln recounted this dream, he felt anxious and fearful about his future. He sensed that something unfortunate was going to happen in his near future. Then, on April 14, 1865, Lincoln's premonition became a reality when he was assassinated during a performance at Ford's Theater in Washington, D.C. This assassination ended Lincoln's life and turned his horrifying dream into reality.